everyone, welcome to Just Laravel. Here in this video, I'm going to tell you how to install a new Laravel application. The current Laravel version is Laravel 8, so I'll tell how to install new Laravel 8 application. If you see, everything is evolving. Like if I do this video how to install Laravel app a year ago, so what I'll basically do is install all the requirements like install PHP, install MySQL, install Apache in my system or some other server. All the setup we have to do. But lately, as I said, everything is evolving. We just came to a solution like where we have containers. That containers will have all the required things and we no need to even install them separately. You just need to install the container and all the things will be taken care by this container. We don't need to install specific PHP version, specific Laravel version. So if I now go to laravel.com and see the documentation, even the documentation suggests that. So let me open this Laravel documentation and see how to create a new Laravel app. So this is the Laravel website and I'm clicking on documentation. So if you see, this is the Laravel. I'm on my Windows, so I'll click on this getting started on Windows. So if you see, before you create a new Laravel application on your Windows machine, make sure you install Docker Desktop. So by default, Laravel also suggesting us to install this Docker. This is what I said, a container-like thing where it installs all the necessary things. So this is Docker Desktop I open. So even in this here documentation, nowhere it says to install. If you go to the previous versions, I will show you exact difference like 5 or 6. And if you see this documentation, it says you need to have PHP this version, you need to have these extensions and all such things. We need to install it using Composer and all such things. So we need to have all this in our mission. We need to have Composer in our mission, and also we need to set this paths. So that's what is there in the earlier versions. So if you go to the latest version or the master or 8.x, so if you go to here, that doesn't show it anywhere. It has the option install via Composer, but that's a last option. So let me so we'll start with this section here, getting started on Windows. So it says us to install Docker and also enable WSL2. So we need to do these two things. First, we need to install Docker and also enable these two things. There's also documentation on how to enable this WSL2. And also says after installing and enabling WSL2, you should ensure that Docker desktop is configured using the WSL2 backend. So this is something which we need to do, which we need to set up initially. We need to have some, if you have some prior experience to Docker, that's good. But if it's not, it might feel a little bit tricky for you to do these things. So I'll show that. I'll also show that how to install this Docker WSL2 and make this Docker configured with WSL2 backend. So after that, after we completed these steps, everything will be fine. From next process onwards, we can do it with ease. So if you're doing this for the first time, you need to bear a little bit of your time because we haven't done this before. So first, I need to install Docker Desktop. I'm in my Windows machine, so I'll directly click on this download for Windows. It's installing. So after installing, you also need to set up this Windows subsystem. There are two options: simplified install and manual install. This simplified install is only if you are into this Windows Insiders program. You also, if you are in a Windows Insider program, you have to install a preview of Windows 10 and then do such things. So not everyone registers for this Windows Insider program. So we'll go with this manual install, which has a lot of steps, but we need to bear and install it for the first time. So first we must enable Windows Subsystem for Linux. So I need to install PowerShell and run this. So while this Docker desktop is installing, I'll also do this. I'll copy. You see in the documentation that next, after installing Docker, you should ensure that Windows Subsystem is also installed and enabled. So meanwhile it's installing, I'll do this. So I'll open my PowerShell as an administrator. Yes. So after that, we need to run this and paste it here, doing something. It's enabling features. Let me just go into the full screen so that you can see. So it also says here, if you want to install WSL2, you need to wait instead of restarting. It says we recommend now moving on to step 2, updating to WSL2. But if you wish to install WSL1, you can restart your machine and go to step 6. So I won't do that. I will stay in this step itself. So it says operation completed successfully. So after that, it says to go to step 2. So I am having this x64 version 1903 or higher, build 18362 or higher. You can also check here. It also says Windows logo key plus R. So I'll just do this, and I've already done that. I've already done that. You can see it's 1909 and build is 18,363. It says only 18,362. So my system is ready to my system has met the requirements, so I'll continue further. So if your system doesn't meet, you can go to the update to latest version. So in step 3, before installing the WSL2, you must enable virtual machine platform optional feature. So I'm already in my Windows PowerShell, so it's done. So I'll run this. Restart your machine to complete the WSL and install and update to WSL2. I need to restart my machine now. So I'll just restart and come back after this is completed. So this is completed. So meanwhile, this Docker is also set up. I'll just open that. It's downloading something again. Required components for WSL2. It's already asking to install. So I'll say okay. And also I'll add to a desktop. Maybe, yeah. So after this installing, I need to restart. As it says, we are installing Docker and this Windows subsystem for Linux parallelly. So we are here, it is installing. We cannot restart now because these are installing. So after this installation is completed, I'll restart this, and I will also install this. We need to install this Linux distribution. So I'll wait for this. It says you must log out of Windows to commit installation. So I will try to do that. I don't know what it does. It just says to log out of Windows. I'm just closing and logging out. I don't know what happens. So after restart and try to open the docs, this thing pop up. Docker automatically started, and it showed me WS2 installation is incomplete. You need to restart. Separate package. Please click on the link to follow the instructions and install the kernel update. So this will keep this aside, and we'll go to the steps where we have tried to do this. In our first our project, getting started on Windows. Docker desktop we have done. We are in this process here in step 4 somewhere in manual steps. So download the Linux kernel and update. I think this is the same. It should go to the same page, I guess. So let me click this and install that MSI package. It's also same. It also says the same separate MSI update package. So I'll save it and I will run it as soon as it's installed. Downloaded. So it's downloaded. So let me open that. So I'll set next. It's installing. It says yes. Click the finish button to set exit the finish. I have clicked the finish button. So it again tells me to install and set this as a default version. Not search. I need to copy. It's there, copy. So I'll install PowerShell. I will open PowerShell. This is my PowerShell. So I'll copy it. So yeah. So it's done. Go to the Microsoft Store and install Linux distribution. Okay. I think I have Microsoft Store in my machine as well. Okay, I will open that. and it says I need Ubuntu latest version. I think 20.04 is the latest version. That is also long term supported 16, 18 and 20. So I'll go with 20. Search Ubuntu 20.0.4 LTS. So it says to click on get. Yeah, it's spinning and it will be downloading all through here, and then we might launch that. It says we'll see what are the steps we need to do after that. So for the first time you launch, okay, then you need to create a custom user account for your Linux distribution. Okay, so install Windows Terminal, we'll do that. Set to distribution. Okay, so after installing this Ubuntu distribution, let me first restart as Docker says and see whether this Docker took that thing. So Ubuntu is installed. So should I launch it or should I restart it? Let me launch it. Installing this might take a few minutes. It's also said here it might take a few minutes. Okay, so it asked me to create a Unix username. I'll give my name. It's also asked me to give enter a password, so I won't tell you what is that. I'll again type my password, but again I won't tell you what is that. Yeah, so it's set up. I think we are pretty good with this Ubuntu thing setting up in our Windows machine. So now it says congratulations, you successfully install and set up Linux distribution that is completely integrated with your Windows operating system. Oh wow, thank you. And then this is optional, so let me just restart again and see whether this Docker is set up so that we can go back to the Laravel documentation and create a new Laravel application using this running this Docker command. So let's see. I'm going to restart my system. So actually it's not asking me to restart the system, it's just asking me to restart Docker. So when I click on it, Docker ran, Docker is running. So get started with Docker in few step. It's my time 2 minutes. Start. Right, I don't think we need to do all this. We can directly skip tutorial and we'll follow the commands from this Laravel documentation. So after installing and enable WSL2, you should ensure that Docker desktop is configured to use WSL2 backend. So let me check that. So if you go into your systems, you should see this is Docker, and I will go to settings, use a WSL2 engine. So it's already using it, and then resources, WSL integration, you should select this. You should check this Ubuntu and then apply and restart. So it's so that we can ensure that this Docker is using this Ubuntu just we have installed. So okay, that's done. So now we'll go to this step. Here this example dash app is just a application name. It says launch Windows terminal. Let me do that. Yeah, so actually I need to run this curl as this command, I think from the distribution 20.4. So here I need to run that. So let's see what happens. Here it should create a new Laravel application for us. So it says unable to find image, Laravel SAIL. Okay, it will take some time. Maybe it's downloading. And also we said we'll use a SAIL here, which will go to the SAIL documentation as well. So it says SAIL is automatically installed with all new Laravel applications. So you may start using it immediately. So we'll go to the documentation. We have followed this. We have go into the Windows, and we are here. It's running. Let's see what happens. It's still running. So you see this is Laravel. It's already downloading just like we do in our own machines. Like in earlier Laravel 6 versions, we need to run all these commands. We need to satisfy all the requirements, the PHP requirement, the the packages, the extensions, we need to do all those. But here we just followed this documentation till here. This paragraph took us a lot of time. So now we are here. So after this it will everything will be run and set up. You can see this is the thing which normally happens when we install Laravel. So it's taking time. Let's see how much time it takes. So what it says after this. So we need to go into this example app and we need to run sail up. And then we need to directly go to the local host so that we can see our first application. So it's asking password for, I won't tell. Okay, it's so it tried to change .env.example to .env, but it says operation not permitted, permission denied. Okay, we'll do that. So dive into cd example. Okay, I thought to change the name, but I haven't. Okay, cd example, and we need to run this. Okay, we can run both commands at a time, but okay, I'll follow this here. I'll copy this, paste anyway. Okay, it's also installing I think it's pulling MySQL. So let's see, after this we can directly go to localhost 8000. I think port might be 8000 here. We'll see after this is done. We'll go to localhost 8000 and we'll see our first Laravel app using this SAIL, Laravel SAIL Docker. So what I wanted to do is, it's still downloading. I think it's done. Oh, it's done. So it's completely done. So what I'll do is I'll just it says me to open localhost, probably localhost 8000, or yeah, localhost. You can see my Laravel application is created. This is my Laravel application. I don't have PHP in my system. If you go into my system, my actual this is my actual system. If I go PHP, there is no PHP in my system. There is no composer in my system, but still I'm able to run Laravel application with 8.21.0 and PHP version 8. It also install SQL and all. If you see here, it install a lot of things for me. So that's how we set up the new way of installing applications. Independent of your system settings, you can run Laravel applications from a container. We use Docker here and we use Laravel SAIL here. So both of them interacted and have done the things for us. So this is SAIL and this is the documentation. We just followed this paragraph. Took us this much time here. We just followed this paragraph. First install Docker desktop. After I installed this, setting up WSL2 took a lot of time, and after that, after doing these two, we need to do this. After installing and enabling WSL2, you should ensure the Docker is set up. For that, you need to make sure that use the WSL2 based engine. By default, it is checked in, and after that, you need to check this Ubuntu 20.04. If it's not checked, that's it from Docker. And this thing took time. If you go for this, there's another special documentation here. Like this documentation, I have gone through and follow all the manual install steps. If you also want to do simplified install, you should log into this Windows Insider program, as I said. So we followed the steps in the manual install, and it took a lot of time. After that, we just run this command on the new terminal which I have integrated, new Ubuntu mission. We have run that command on the Ubuntu mission. It took a lot of time. It says for the first time it will take that much time. After that, it will run quickly. So after this, we need to go into this application, run sail up. So this took some time to install all this. So that's it. We got a first Laravel application. So if I go into one more terminal and cd example app and I do ls, you see all these applications like app, resources, roots. Now go to cd resources. resources, views, welcome. I think it should be welcome. Let me open ls. It says welcome. I'll do nano welcome.blade.php. You see, this is all the things which is coming from here. All these things are coming from this file here. You see, so these are all the things here. If you change the things here, it will also get changed there. So let me change some of the links for this sponsor. I can see sponsor here. I'll change this text to something else just to confirm that we can make changes in our Laravel application to reflect in the actual website. I've named it, I've done it something random text. I have written and I will exit this. If I refresh this localhost again, you see this text changed, so that we can confirm that we can able to run and make changes in our Laravel application, which is installed completely independent of our system settings using Docker and Laravel SAIL. That's how you run your first Laravel 8 application. So see you in the next video.